So I don't know if you guys watch the TV as much as I do, but there was the Law and Order Special Victims Unit. They did a special, they did a show on that featured rape jokes from comedians, like it was a problem. I have it on my DVR. I just saw the script. Sounded like a stupid show. Sounded like, you know, and I mentioned it at the top of the show, like I wasn't crazy about it. I thought it was. Anyway, the offended caller calls me, and here he is.
Hello? Hello? Am I on the air?
No, you're not. Yes, you are on the air. How can I help you?
Yes. Hello, this is offended listener.
Oh, hi, offended listener. What happened? Did anything offend you today?
Yes. Well, I'm very upset about something that you said earlier in the show. You said something extremely dismissive about last night's Law and Order SVU episode, and I was very offended by that. Because Law and Order Special Victims Unit is one of the bravest shows on television. They're extremely brave, and they take on issues that no one else will. Case in point, last night's episode where they talked about the epidemic of comedians, so-called comedians, telling rape jokes on stage, adding to our rape culture, augmenting it, and just basically creating a hostile space for women and children. And it needs to stop. It's all over comedy, and it needs to end. And they took that on full bore, and they should be proud of themselves. And they shouldn't have to take a bunch of guff from so-called radio comedians like you, such as yourself.
So you're saying, let me get this straight. So you're saying that you are offended that I said something dismissive about the Law and Order SVU show that was on last night because it dealt with comedians telling jokes about rape?
Yes, exactly. And
you've been affected by that?
Absolutely. All of society is affected by that when our rape culture is augmented by the constant barrage of stand-up comedy is essentially nothing but white males telling rape jokes now. That's how bad it's gotten, and it needs to stop. If you go to a comedy club, basically all you hear is white, straight, male comics telling rape jokes.
Oh, was that what you experienced when you went to a comedy club?
That's what lots of people, yes. Well, that's what people experience when they go to comedy clubs.
What about you, though? Did you experience that when you went to a comedy club?
I have read many blogs online, at least like 6 or 7 of them, that very explicitly detail a person that, yes, so
I don't understand. So you've never been to a comedy club?
No, but so what? What difference does that make?
So how could you be offended by something that you weren't there to be offended by?
Okay, you know what you're doing right now? There's a word for that. What you're doing is called absence shaming. And I'm sick of it. There's a lot of us, I'm not the only one, there's a lot of us who rarely, if ever, leave our apartments because of anxiety problems. And we have to be offended through the reports of other people who were there. And it doesn't make my outrage any less. It's what's called a proximity bias. And it's rampant in our culture. It's this outdated, antiquated notion that someone has to be physically near an incident to know what the incident was, okay? And that needs to stop in the society. In fact, myself and a lot of my people, we have a disability, and essentially we're being discriminated against. And a lot of us, we're petitioning the State Supreme Court of Oregon to allow us to testify in trials for crimes that we were not witnesses of in person, because we're being denied our right to participate in the judicial system just because we can't physically be around things that happen. And my opinion about something that happened is no less important than someone who physically witnessed it.
Okay. I would disagree with you, but I hear your.
It's like when this Woody Allen thing came up, and
Right.
all of these people were giving this pathetic argument, oh, how would I know if he did this or not? I wasn't there. If you weren't there, what a cop-out. That's such a cop-out. That's so irresponsible to think that you can't know what happened because you weren't there. It makes me so angry. So what? You can still be offended if you weren't there, and you can still have a pretty good idea of what happened. It makes me so angry. So good for SVU for taking this on. As someone who has essentially been in comedy clubs through the lens of Jezebel and Gawker and other websites that report on this, I'm very proud of them.
Okay.
So for you to belittle that is just stupid.
Okay. Well, offended
And it
listener.
offends me. And that is extremely important.
Okay, offended listener. I feel very badly about all this. Really, I do.
Well, okay. That's just a first step, to be completely honest with you. So your first step is to be sorry, and then I take ownership of you and use that guilt. So we're making progress, but we have a long way to go, so don't get complacent.
I promise I'll go home and watch that episode of Law and Order with a different lens.
I think you should. I think you should.
Okay, offended listener. Thank you very much for your sharing your offenses.
Okay, I'll probably be calling back 6 or 7 times within this episode, so be prepared.
Okay, will do. Thank you, offended listener.
All right, that was the easily offended listener.